Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Cool. Okay, welcome back to AWS Cloud Quest. I am walking through the solutions architect part of the game now. This is a game made by Amazon Web Services to help you learn how to use the AWS cloud. I finished the cloud practitioner part, which is where you learn how to use the basics of AWS. And now I'm on the solutions architect, which is where you learn how to use it even better. So I just did a cloud formation task, and now I'm going to do a task called hello. Let me click this. Where is it? This one. Cloud infrastructure with generative blah blah blah. Basically, I think this is meant to show you how to use a tool from Amazon to set up infrastructure using AI. Yeah, and using AWS CDK, and I've heard CDK is very good. So yes, that's basically something I want to use. How to quickly deploy the infrastructure and application by using the AWS CDK. Okay, and Cloud9 I think is Amazon's rip-off of Visual Studio Code or something. Something like that. Okay, let's go. So I've chosen it. Not that it really ever seems to do anything. And it's this guy.
I'm so glad you stopped by. I really need your help.
I'm always happy to help. What seems to be the problem? The basis of this game is I'm some sort of AWS cloud genius, even though I'm not in real life, which is really weird because it should be a role-playing game, right? It feels like that's what it should be. And I shouldn't be a genius because I'm not a genius. So yeah, anyway. What seems to be the problem?
I'm working for the city's IT department, and I've been tasked with automating the deployment of our AWS resources. My first project is a new application for the census, and I don't even know where to start.
I think I understand your issue. It's a skills issue. You're a noob. Quit. I'll take the job. Pay me the money. How do you currently deploy?
We do most things manually in the AWS management console. But from time to time, we write AWS Cloud Formation templates for resources we use often.
You can produce CloudFormation templates with minimal coding through the AWS Cloud Development Kit, using a programming language you are already comfortable with, such as TypeScript, JavaScript, Python, Java, .NET, and Go. Have you ever used the AWS CDK?
We've heard of the CDK, but never understood how it could help us. Even though the team is familiar with Python, we are not sure if we would be able to learn the CDK in time to complete this project.
You don't need full knowledge of the AWS CDK, because you can use Amazon Code Whisperer to help you write the code. Oh, clever. Do you know what? This is sort of music to my ears a bit, because I don't know why, but it feels like AWS CDK is too good to be true. You can just use whatever programming language you want, build your infrastructure, and then bam, deploy it. No problem. You're sort of, really? Can you really do that? Because if you've used the console, like I have, you know the console sucks. So yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about Code Whisperer?
Code Whisperer is an AI-powered productivity tool that helps you generate code suggestions ranging from snippets to full functions in real time, based on your comments and existing code.
Ooh. So we can use AWS CDK and Amazon Code Whisperer to build and deploy our architecture?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can even use the CDK to put your infrastructure application code and configuration all in one place to ensure a complete cloud deployable system, your application code and configuration. Huh. That's cool.
This sounds exactly like what we need. help us get started on a prototype? Wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing what you create.
So here we are on the learning part. If you've seen me go through these things before, you'll know that I don't normally watch these videos because I find that they suck. And it's better just to use them rather than listen to AWS's marketing about them. So yeah, I'm just not going to bother. I also go quiet, so these videos will be cut up eventually at some point into actual episodes, and I'll just cut out the silence. But when it's live, you'll get the bits where I'm not speaking, so be aware of that. There'll be times when I'm just reading and thinking and not speaking, but I'll try and speak when I have something interesting to share. Okay. So it's basically just saying you can use IDEs such as AWS Cloud 9. Okay, I'm just going to look it up now. Ugh, that's ugly. That's horrible. I hope that's not yeah, I hope that's not the only option. Or I'm glad I've got Visual Studio Code. Damn, that looks like some ugly old Android sort of interface. Okay. So yeah, you can get it, but you need the AWS Toolkit and AWS IAM. Yeah, okay. So, do I want to watch that video? Not really. Let's... AI coding assistant. Code faster. Cool, well, I guess we'll see how well it works. When the code is completed and tested, it is synthesized into an AWS CloudFormation template. Okay, cool. I once asked a question about this on Reddit and said, does CDK compile into CloudFormation? And they said no. And I got quite a few upvotes, and so I still semi-believe that, but reading this, I'm like, I keep seeing that it does. If someone knows, please could you tell me in the comments. Cool. That's poor design there, isn't it? arrows over that. Okay. So let's see. Just take off my orange glasses so I can just see a bit better. So we've got end users coming in through an internet gateway, going to a NAT gateway. What's that? Network. What's a NAT gateway again? Network address translation. That's what it is. I'm sure I've already got. No? Okay. So I'm just adding something to my my set of flashcards, which you can find in the comments, which I take as I go along. A NAT gateway is a network address translation service that maps that allows private subnets to communicate with resources outside of their network. Don't know if you guys have ever used Grok, but it is awesome. If you haven't used it, you should. Gives you, well, you have to log in, but it gives you free access to different models. So I'm just going to use it now to ask it the same question. What is the AWS NAT gateway for? So it looks like it's basically in general, these are components that let you map private IP addresses to a public IP address and route traffic that is returned, and route inbound traffic that has been requested back to the appropriate resources on the private network, something like that. I like to keep it, loose. I like to keep it loose with my definitions. Yeah. It lets a single unique IP represent many computers or multiple computers. Cool. Okay, so the internet gateway, then we come to this public subnet. which I find a bit weird actually. So Amazon Code Whisperer, an AWS CDK, and AWS Cloud9 combined to make a CloudFormation template. This then produces this thing in our virtual private cloud. Users come into it and they come into the NAT gateway first. But shouldn't they be touching the application load balancer? Oh. But didn't they say... No. Didn't they say... accessing the application through the application load balancer. Huh? So is that just saying... okay, but shouldn't this internet gateway then be attached to this application load balancer somehow? Because I guess it's saying outbound traffic from the application server goes through here to here, and you've got this application database and stuff. It's a shame. They should really like make it harder for you and actually make you build some of this stuff. But they don't. It's not very hard most of the time. Often it's quite boring. Really, they should just force you to do it on AWS CDK. Maybe. Okay. Create various AWS resources by using the AWS CDK and Amazon Code Whisperer. Deploy an application by using the AWS CDK and Code Whisperer. Test the application by using an application load balancer. Sure. That sounds interesting. So does configure mean? Oh, in the load balancer. Anyway. Because I was just thinking there that could mean configure it as in give it the configuration information for the server, for the instance, and say, I don't know, install PHP or something like that. Okay. So the way this works is, let me just check the lab files, nothing, that's good. The way this works is 66 steps. Wow. Okay, well, this could be a long one. You hit start lab and you get given a AWS console, which is an AWS lab user console. So you don't actually, like, everything on it is ephemeral. It's not your real account. And that means you can't be charged for anything, which means it's your playground, which means it's a lot safer. Which is this is the best thing about this game, basically. Problem is, there's no time limits. There's no, well, you've got 3 hours, but 2 hours, 50 minutes or something to complete the lab. So yeah, there is really a time limit, but it's not a very hard time limit. It's much more fun to make it really hard. Okay. And so what I like to do is I like to make it harder by setting myself a timer, and then by also trying to skip steps and record the number of consecutive steps that I've managed to do. So if you can correctly guess the next 5 steps and you just skip through them because you're like, oh yeah, I did that one already, and you did it without them asking you, then you would put consecutive steps 5. And the goal is to get as high as you possibly can. Right. 66 steps. A step a minute is like rough. So shall we say I give myself 53 minutes. Begin. Okay. So they want me to go to Cloud9 first. Okay, so I'm going to load their crappy, horrible IDE. Presumably, okay, so let's just call it CDKenv description env for building stuff with CDK. Oh, do I have any existing compute? Don't know. Did that one. So this would be consecutive 1. Oh, no, I didn't do it. So it's not create a new one, it's shared with me. LabEnv. Want me to open it? Everything as you left it. Christ, this is ugly. Isn't it funny that they give you these welcome windows, and even in the tutorials it's like, just kill it. Kill the welcome window. Okay. Auto suggestions provide you with code snippets that can help streamline and speed up the coding process. Nice. In the bottom bash terminal window at the command prompt, run. Type the command and press enter. Cool. Probably want me to go into it. Nothing in it. So what was it? CDK init -a -l equals Python. Cool. So we're going to use Python, my favorite language, or at least the one I know best anyway. I am going to write down this command. So what does CDK init -a @-l This command uses the CDK command line interface Initiate a cloud development kit project. The application name is defined by the flag-a and is app. The language used to build the app is chosen with the -L flag and is set to Python. See, I heard someone say TypeScript was the best version of the CDK you can use, but interesting, they've chosen Python. Python is pretty elite. It's pretty elite. Cool. Initializing a new Git repository. Damn, son. Damn. Oh wow, properly did init. The initialization process also creates a virtual env within this project stored on the .venv directory. Okay. Cool. To delete the virtual environment created with Python 3.7, run sure. They want me to create a new one, do they? Python 3.8? What was this lab made? Barely any difference. Right, they want me to -venv.venv. source.venv /bin/activate.bat, was it? No, what was it? Just activate. Cool. So in case you don't know, a virtual environment in Python is where you set up, you basically sideload a version of Python. And now that side-loaded version of Python can have packages installed on it, which won't be installed on the main version of Python. So if you did install something and it was very specific to this project, like say, for example, you were using NumPy and you needed a different version of NumPy specifically for this project, but in general, you're happy to use the most up-to-date version, then you can have a virtual environment, install the package you need, and track what that is without affecting your main environment. So it just keeps things centered on your package. Okay. Reusable cloud components known as constructs. It's 42 minutes 48. I've got a bad feeling this is not going to be very quick. In the left environment window, click to expand the CDK app directory. Huh? Is that because it's... I see. Attempting to stall a package. Oh, what was it? Dash R. Cool. Cloud infrastructure with generative AI. Okay. I don't think there's any way I'm ever going to guess any of this. The pre-build process. The CI Gen AI stack.py contains the resources that you're building the next step. Fine. Oh, that's cool. The userdata.sh file includes the commands to install the dependencies and the commands for the application. It also loads data into Amazon Relational Database Service. See, now this is what I was talking about. Automating the production of a relational database service and putting the data in. Choose the checkbox. That's what I need for WordPress. Okay. Copy S3 URI. Can use this. Cool. To CD to the subdirectory. I'm just going to hang on to that file name. Get rid of these sample codes. So they want me to go CDK app, do they? They want me to go double deep. All right, no, they don't. Wait, what? I've already gone here? Maybe? Download the user data. Okay. It's going to be like that. Oh, shit. AWS CS3. Oh, cool. So the thing I missed there was this little dot, and the dot means in the current directory, basically. Nice. So yeah, I copied this command, and it's AWS, which is like a command line utility. S3, so it's just I'm just telling them I want to look at S3, and then copy the URL location, this lab bucket location, and the user data.sh, and then the dot at the end says paste it in the current directory. So they want me to double click on this. Why not a single click? Oh, it just doesn't open it. I see. So they want me to sudo yum update -y, and the -y means yes-wall, install JQ, don't know what that is, install Python 3. Export bucket name, S3 API, list buckets, query output, text grep. I guess they want to use that to get something. I'm not the best at bash. Or shell scripting or whatever this is. Database host, database user. Oh look, I think this is actually, or could, yeah, or it's a setup for a relational database anyway. Cool. Review the file contents. Oh, is that a consecutive step? It is. He's on one consecutive step. So they're saying Python 3 database populate, which should connect to the database and do something, but where do you get that from, Sonny boy? Unless it's the VP cap? I don't know, maybe. So this is why it's very difficult to do this without a time limit and without stuff, because you just want to fall asleep. I just want to fall asleep because it's so boring. Change the true value to false. Restrict default security group. Boom. Yeah, on the top navigation bar, click file and then choose save not shown. Go to the next step. The AWS CDK uses feature flags to enable potentially breaking behavior in a release. What? Is that a flag, is it? Or what is it? Oh my god. It's like a bloody manifest file or something like that. It's copying Android or Google or whatever. I don't know if I'll be able to make it through this. I've got 32 minutes. Let's see if I can make it. In the CDK app stack.py file, be sure to indent the newly added constructs. What? Failure to do so result in errors in the deployment process. Yeah. Okay with it. Okay with correct indentation. Cool. I mean, this is cool. Like, deploying a 3-tiered architecture. That's cool. But fuck me. God, it's boringly done. Delete the existing import values and then copy paste the following. Okay. Let's not have too much fun. It doesn't auto indent for you. That's horrible. Paste this, try again. In the definite method, select, highlight, and delete the comments. Go to the next step. Construct Hub is a resource to help you discover additional constructs. Interesting. Create a virtual private cloud VPC in the top CDK app stack.py window type. How can you make this so boring? How? Let's see. Can I not run this file? Replace with. Get rid of that. Auto suggestions. There we go. Now it's giving me something. Well, oh, here we go. Sure. See if that works. The code whisper suggestion. Highlighted in green, hover the mouse over the suggestion in full to view it. Display suggestions. Choose suggestion highlighted in green. Create a security group for the load balancer. Maybe that. But I didn't have any. No issues. That's annoying me. Review the closing parentheses. Oops. Seems like I get more out of it than this one does. Or something, I don't know. It's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Be sure to add it. So I guess they must have tried and failed to make this work. So they were like, just put it in there to handle the error. And look, knew exactly what I wanted to do. Add ingress rules. Should that be somewhere else? No. ec2 peer.neipv. I've got ec2 peer.neipv. Connection equals ec2.port.all traffic. Okay, let's just change it to that. Okay. Quick accept or view more suggestions or continue writing your own code. What is 8443 traffic? To secure web access, especially in scenarios where standards are unavailable or occupied. Interesting. Write a flashcard for that just to keep myself from falling asleep. What is port 8443 commonly used for? This is a port that's used for encrypted traffic when the standard HTTPS port 443 isn't available. This could be for when two devices on a private subnet are communicating with one another. Whew. Yeah. So it wants me to do. Oh. For the load balancer to allow traffic from. Oh, is this supposed to be EC2? From the load balancer on port 8443. Do you know, there's part of me that thinks it's probably just quicker, honestly, just to write it out myself. So it's saying for the DB instance from the EC2 instance. And what did I have for that? RDS. RDS SG. Add ingress rule. There we go, look, that was quicker. Yeah. Oh yeah, in case you don't know, again, let's just keep myself awake. RDS stands for Relational Database Service. So that means like SQL, stuff like that, and it makes it easier to host one yourself rather than sort of manually update the software and stuff. They do all that for you. You just put your data on there. .22 from the EC2 instance. There we go. Ain't that lovely? To create an Amazon Aurora MySQL. So it's saying it should be cluster equals RDS. RDS.database cluster. Is that what they had? Nope. Press the space key and then choose the engine suggestion. .v. Version 3.040. On the next line, use predefined credentials type. Oh my god. This is not. I wouldn't consider this a very good way to teach anything, really. Just like, do this, then do this, then do this. Here I am still doing it, but I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. I don't like it. Is this what Copilot's like? I've not used Copilot, but yeah, I don't really like it. Rotation single user. That can't be the only thing. Is this out of date? Is this... I don't know. Oh. Wait, the credentials are already supposed to be there. Ah, I see. Operator error. Nice. It's gone a bit OTT, hasn't it, with the things. I'll just comment these out for now. Okay, so it's saying apparently this is depreciated. So they want me to do this. Default database name. You just wouldn't be able to do this, would you? realistically. Like, if you didn't have all these instructions and stuff, I just don't really see how this is an instructional. You know, use the Code Whisperer to build a really complicated, well, not really complicated, but a reasonably complicated infrastructure. No, we're not going to get you to build things up slowly and stuff. No, instead we're just going to bore you to death by making you just write things out, copy and paste like you're some sort of machine. The suggestion is to add a VPC configuration to the RDSDB cluster. Pretty sure I've already done that. Dot isolated. Yeah. The Code Whisperer's given up. Cool. 10 minutes left. Be sure to end the Linux image construct. Deathly boring.
Really can't whisper a suggestion. Me.
Who would want to code like this? I hate the idea of coding like this. Yep, that'll do. I am going to do this because this is starting to get really annoying. Oh, it just shrinks it so much. So now you want me to write. Add an existing role with name EC2 instance role. Get lost. Oh, come on. What's the issue? Right, so it's failed now, has it? Oh, this is so shit. This is not a good advert for this is not a good advert for AWS Code Whisperer. So it's just failed on me. Are there any issues with it? No. No, there's no issues, apparently. It's just failed. So now I'm going to have to do it all by hand. Fucking piece of shit software. Let's just say it's that. Yep. AWS, your code whisperer is not as good as you think it is. In fact, it's kind of shit. It is kind of shit. Oops. How is this to be ready? Oh, was that over here or something? Oh, I don't know. Maybe. It didn't even want me to do that. This is fucking painful. This is the worst tutorial I've ever done. That is surely not going to work. What's it whinging about here? Undefined variable EC2 instance. Oh. See if I can remember the command. Somehow I've got a lot more. Okay. Let's see what happens. So do I have to come out of this maybe? Aha. Yeah, I'm just gonna just paste all that in. Oh, no, I'll keep this old version, but let's copy it. Or is it a duplicate? There we go, lovely. This is where this doesn't work as well. Yeah, because it's all depreciated. It's depreciated, it's depreciated, it's depreciated. Yeah, well, whatever. Wow. Holy shit. Well, you can see why people do this in CDK, can't you? That is mad. That's a massive file. Okay. That's nice, isn't it? It sort of lets you know what's being changed and stuff. Quite cool. The deployment takes up to 15 minutes. Is that a normal amount of time? This is quite cool. So it's created 3 security groups, a database, an instance, a load balancer, and apparently some metadata, along with the VPC. The VPC is a lot of public subnets, a bunch of private subnets, an RDS subnet. Right, okay. I just feel like this could be taught a lot better. But this isn't very good, is it really? This is probably the worst lab that I've done. It just seems daft. Why don't I just say, alright, here's an AWS CDK setup. Figure out what's wrong with it. Or something like that. And you won't even have to have the resources deployed. And you probably learn a lot more. Because then you could get it right and then someone could explain to you why you did it right or wrong. Whereas that was just painful. Oh, write this comment and hope for the best that the code whisperer gives you the right code. What is that? Prompt and pray? Bullshit. Rubbish. For the available load balancer under physical ID, click the O. Choose the checkbox. Select the load balancer that starts with CDK app. So is this still going or? Yeah. Bootstrap your environment. Ilya Sutskever starting a new company, Artificial Superintelligence. That's cool. Claude Sonnet 3.5. Now the best model in the world.
let's say, toddler level intelligence, and then systems like GPT-4 are more like smart high schooler intelligence. And then in the next couple of years, we're looking at PhD level intelligence for specific tasks. So things are changing and improving pretty rapidly.
Meaning like a year from now.
Yeah, a year and a half, let's say. Yeah.
PhD level super intelligence in 1.5 years?
I don't think so. No listeners, eh?
Okay.
What? What the hell is going on? I don't want to end this episode here, but just feels like I sort of have to because nothing is happening. So yeah, maybe I'll be back to finish this off. I didn't make it on the timer. I hated this episode. It was painful. And yeah, wouldn't recommend the Code Whisperer. Wouldn't recommend Cloud9. It's ugly. CDK probably still pretty good. I mean, it produced quite a hefty CloudFormation file in a lot less code, so that's always good if you need to be very precise with what you're producing. I should probably just do a CDK tutorial instead of this one rather than... Yeah. Your first AWS CDK app. Yep. See you in a bit. Bye.